Truesdale's General Store is a quaint establishment nestled in the heart of Sydenham, Ontario, embodying the charm of a bygone era. Opened in the mid-1800s as a true general store, it has remained in the same family for 7 generations.
My grandfather was a baker, my great-grandfather was a baker. They all were into the baking. The history of the general store came from the baking because when you bake bread, you need flour, but you also need eggs and milk and other things, cream, to bake your bread. So they started to barter with the local farmers. You know, will you bring in your eggs and we'll give you a keg of nails or this sort of thing. And that's where the general store side of it came from, that they were able to work with there wasn't so much the cash, it was sort of the barter system that they had going on at that time.
In rural areas especially, general stores were often the only source of goods for miles around. But they served as social centers as well, where people could gather to catch up on news, share stories, and exchange information. They provided a sense of community and belonging, fostering relationships among neighbors.
This is a good indicator of what the general store looked like, but this is not what the general store would have had it in it back at the turn of the century. They sold everything from soup to nuts. You've heard that phrase, and they did have everything from cans of soup to bread, food, paint, wallpaper, anything you needed to survive, because you didn't get in the car and drive to Kingston these days. You stayed here in the village and you shopped locally. And I can remember sitting in here and on those steps over there on a Saturday morning, and this place was packed with people shopping, and there was a blue haze of smoke in here because they all rolled their own cigarettes. And it was just a hive of activity. It was, and down here we have the soda fountain. The store would be open to 8 to 10 o'clock on a Saturday night because the farmers would come in after milking. And it was a social time for them. They'd get their groceries, but they'd have ice cream and things like that down at the soda fountain. It was all social. It was going to shopping was getting out and meeting other families and other people and having a social time of it.
While many rural general stores have disappeared, Truesdale's has managed to adapt and survive by diversifying their offerings, focusing on niche markets and emphasizing their role as a community gathering place.
So you have to improvise. You can't. Things change, and it doesn't matter. You know, back in the turn of the century, mica mines it was like a gold mine with these mica mines. Well, that's all gone. Farming's all gone. If you don't change with the times, you're gone. So all we do is try to change with the times and move along and find different opportunities and different things.
It's changed, but it's still the same. So yeah, I think the buying has evolved since I've been here for sure. People see a noticeable difference in what we carry. I do try to focus as much as possible on getting good local goods and Canadian goods. So of course we do have things that are not made here, and we do even have some things from China that sell well. But the game has changed in retail. I've been in it for 40 years now, and it's changed, and you have to be on your toes, especially with your inventory. And this has been here a long time. They've weathered a couple of world wars, a couple of pandemics now, so we'd like to still be here.
Today, Truesdale's General Store stands as a living tribute to its storied past, a beacon of tradition and continuity in an ever-changing world. It continues to serve as a gathering place for residents, old and new, a reminder of importance of community, connection, and the timeless appeal of small-town charm.
To me, this store is the cornerstone in this community. It's right on the corner physically, but it's also everybody who comes in here has a story about being a child coming in with their grandparents, with their parents, or their grandparent worked in here, or their grandmother. I met a 96-year-old woman who said when she first was married at 14, way back when, that she got all her groceries here. Everybody has a story, and people love to come in and bring their kids or bring their grandchildren and say, here's the general store that we used to come to. So that's a huge part.
We moved to Sydenham in 2021. I had actually grown up in Sydenham as a child and remember coming to the store when I was little. I mean, it's fantastic because we bring our girls here and the staff are genuinely so sweet and kind, and it's a great place that we can come and bring our girls, and we know that they're always going to be interactive and really, really respectful. So it's been a great opportunity for us to teach our children great lessons, and they love coming here. It means more than just a store.
It's like having the blanket. You always had that blanket you wanted. It's old and you're comfortable with it. You come back, you're comfortable with it. But sometimes you need something the stability, something that's there, and you know you can come back to it and say, "Yeah, something hasn't changed. This is the way it was, and there's nothing wrong with the way it was."
For WPBS Weekly, I'm Gail Paquette.